Hello everyone. Welcome to Turkish series stars. All the details are right here, so settle in, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars, and share this video if you love following every twist and turn of your favorite screen idols. Tonight, we're taking you into the early hours in Eeler, where the city breathes neon and whispers, and where two names turned a casual birthday night into a trending moment, Gökberk and Cemre. The pair were first spotted leaving a private birthday gathering at a well-known club, the kind of place where music and laughter spill out onto the street as dawn edges closer. Throughout the night, those inside said they seemed relaxed, smiling, and friendly with everyone. When the doors opened and the cool air rushed in, the sudden burst of camera lights turned the sidewalk into a stage. For a second there was a pause, the kind that happens when the realities of public life catch up, and then both eased into the scene with practiced calm. Cemre stepped forward first, poised and luminous. She chose a black mini dress paired with a knee-length leather jacket, hair pulled back into a loose bun that felt effortless but impeccably styled. The minimal makeup, a soft glow across her cheekbones, made her look like she had stepped out of a campaign shoot. By her side, Gökberk matched her understated elegance, a dark coat over a crisp shirt, the collar open, sleek but never showy. Together, they wore the kind of simplicity that photographs beautifully and stays in the mind long after the flash has faded. Then came the questions, quick, insistent, spiraling into the one topic everyone wanted to hear. "Are you two back together?" someone called from behind a lens, and it hung there between them like a spotlight they couldn't sidestep. They've been linked for a long time, an on and off story that fans have followed like it's their favorite show. Over the last few weeks, sightings at the same venues led to rumors that the distance between them had closed again. But this time, there was no dodge, no vague wave of the hand. Cemre met the inquiry head-on. "Life moves," she said, voice even and warm. "We're choosing our own directions, and we're doing it kindly. I'm focused, I'm happy, and I'm exactly where I need to be." She wasn't defensive, she wasn't cold. She sounded like someone who has made peace with a chapter and knows that turning the page doesn't erase what came before. It was the tone that said more than the words, respect, clarity, and a promise that the speculation could rest for the night. Right then, as the questions stacked, Gökberk stepped in with that quiet, protective confidence audiences know from the roles he plays, only this time there was no script. "There's nothing to add," he said. "We're good people who want good things for each other. Work is our focus. That's all." He kept his hand steady, a small nod to the crowd, a look to Cemre that brought the temperature down. It was the kind of gesture that travels fast online, a boundary set without drama, a scene closed with dignity. What followed was the fashionable detail fans adore. Social media lit up with clips of the exit. Cemre's black dress, that leather jacket, the soft gleam of her earrings, all of it praised as unfussy and perfect. Next to her, the subtle cut of Gökberk's coat and the tailored lines caught equal love. But beyond the clothes, it was the energy that sparked the comments, the way they walked side by side without stepping into each other's space, the way they paused to answer without letting the night turn into a messy spectacle. Make no mistake, the two of them know how to handle attention. Inside the club, friends said they kept to a corner table, laughed over old stories, raised a quiet toast to the birthday, and slipped out when the hour grew late. There was no grand entrance, no dramatic exit. The cameras changed that, as cameras often do, but even then, they kept their performances grounded in reality, not rumor. Cemre, who's been deep in preparation for a new series, brushed off further questions about plotlines and co-stars. "I'm not giving away surprises," she teased, eyes bright. "But I'm excited. It's a role that scares me in the best way." The line hit the sweet spot, just enough to feed anticipation without spoiling a single thing. Gökberk, too, gave nothing away and everything at once. "There are projects coming," he confirmed. "Good work. The kind that makes you wake up early." In that one sentence, fans heard the grind and the gratitude, the two engines that drive careers like his. Of course, the earlier rumor mill had been loud. Every time they were seen under the same roof, sometimes a theater lobby, sometimes a friend's dinner, the chorus swelled, reunion, reconciliation, revival. But walking into the night, the message was clear. This wasn't a return to the old script. It was two professionals and two people moving forward, sometimes in parallel, sometimes on different streets, always with the same city lights around them. What stood out most was composure. Cemre didn't duck. She didn't run. She let the moment land and spoke from a place that was both gracious and firm. And Gökberk, unflinching, matched her tone. They didn't need to agree on every word. They only needed to show that the conversation had limits they set together even as they stood as two, not one. If romance writes one kind of story, respect writes another, and tonight we saw the second drafted in real time. Inside the car that waited, the doors opened like wings. One last look back, not at the cameras, but at the night itself, and then they slipped in. No slammed doors, no loud music as a statement, no second act to lure a new round of headlines. Just a quiet departure, a final wave, and the soft rumble of an engine that carried them off in different directions before the streets fully woke up. By morning, the video clips had traveled everywhere. 1,000 rewatches picked apart the fabric of the scene, the pacing of their steps, the slight angle of Cemre's shoulders, the way Gökberk kept one hand free, ready to guide but not to hold. Comments tilted towards admiration. Maturity looks like this, one wrote. This is how you close the door with grace, another added. And then the refrain that always surfaces when two stars refuse to feed the noise, work first. Life in peace. We circled back to the start of the night with people who were there. They said the mood was friendly from the moment the surprise cake came out. Candles, applause, the low hum of a happy crowd. Even then, with phones put away out of respect, a few glances were stolen across the table, the sort that hold history without replaying it. If there was tension, it was the good kind, a thin line between past and present that makes everyone stand a little taller. The outfit breakdown continued to trend because fashion always has a seat at the gossip table. Cemre's leather jacket, tailored at the waist with the tiniest silver hardware, promised a coming season of sleek silhouettes. Her boots, just below the knee, sharpened the look without pushing. Meanwhile, Gökberk's monochrome palette made a case for restraint, a reminder that style doesn't shout when it fits exactly as it should. Side by side, their visuals were effortless, and effortless is the highest compliment on a night like this. As more press clips surfaced, you could hear variations of the same question flying in from every direction. Are you back together? Is this a new beginning? Will we see you in a project together? Each time, the answers formed a careful duet. We wish each other well. We're focused. The future is made of work we love. No doors slammed, but none were propped open either. It was a practical poetry, lines that protected the people saying them without insulting the curiosity that brought the microphones in the first place. Later, when the club staff cleared the last glasses, someone posted a final photo of the table, a ring of empty chairs, a few folded napkins, a candle stub leaning to one side. It felt like a metaphor for everything we'd watched. The celebration had happened. The moment had been real. But parties end, and the ordinary day after is where lives are lived. That's where their next scenes will be written, on sets and in scripts, in rehearsals and voice notes, in the quiet of early morning call times. As for the reconciliation rumors, tonight's clarity may not silence every whisper. Whispers have long memories. But clarity changes the tone. If you loved them as a couple, you can love them as two bright constellations in the same sky. If you followed them for the drama, you might have to settle for the elegance of two professionals who refuse to let private choices become public battles. If you admire both, tonight gave you something to hold on to, kindness that doesn't bend to speculation. At Turkish series Stars, what we saw felt like a full stop after weeks of commas. Not a grand finale. Not a dramatic twist. A full stop, the neat punctuation of grown-ups who know themselves. Cemre's last words before the car door closed said it best, I'm happy. I have work I love. That's my headline. And Gökberk's echo sealed it, there's nothing to solve here. We're good. With that, the page turned. In the hours that followed, fan pages built slideshows out of the night. The same frames arranged in new orders drew out new meanings, smile here, nod there, the angle of a glance caught at 2:17 and replayed at 4:02. But no edit could change the essence. They arrived as two people at the same party, they left as two people with separate plans, and both looked ready for what's next. So this is how the story lands. In Eeler's sleepless glow, a birthday ended, and a rumor finally felt like it could exhale. Cemre kept her calm, her confidence, and her excitement for an upcoming role that already has the industry talking. Gökberk kept his balance, his focus, and his eye on the kind of work that makes the day run fast. Together, they turned a crowded sidewalk into a quiet statement. That statement was simple: the past is intact, the present is honest, and the future belongs to their craft. Before we go, remember the names that defined the night. Remember the discipline it takes to smile when the flash finds you, and the grace it takes to answer without setting a match to old pages. Remember how style can tell the truth in a single frame, and how two people can share a moment without promising a sequel. And if you missed it, watch the clips again, not for the gossip you wanted, but for the character you got. This is Turkish series Stars, and that was the scene in Eeler, a night of candor wrapped in glamour, a curtain call without the drama, and two stars choosing the cleanest kind of spotlight, their work. If you enjoyed this inside look, subscribe to Turkish series Stars, share the video, and stay with us for more stories that shine as bright as the people who live them. Until next time, good night from Turkish series Stars.